to Kimmie's Kitchen. Now, here at Kimmie's Kitchen, we like to put some ease back into dessert making because I know that all of you guys at home are saying, I can't do desserts, but yes, you can. Here at Kimmie's Kitchen, we're gonna show you how. I just wanna take this time to say that we've got a wonderful, wonderful guest that's gonna help us put some ease back into dessert making. So gather together, come to your TV, and welcome my friend, Mark Christopher Lawrence. Woo! Come, darling. Hi, honey. Hi, sweetie. How are you?
I'm good.
Well, thank you for coming and being a part of Kimmie's Kitchen.
Well, it's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, so how are you in the dessert kind of situation? Are you a dessert maker?
Yeah, I'm a meat guy. I make
okay.
the meat.
Are you the grill man?
I grill. I'm in the kitchen. You know. So,
Okay, so for holidays, say, you know, so you're the guy that gets the turkey together, gets the
dressing,
grills the ribs.
But dessert.
Okay, but do you like desserts?
Look at me.
He trying to get me in trouble. Now, for those who don't know, tell the viewer audience, where are you from?
I'm straight out of Compton.
Hey now, all right, here. He's straight out of Compton because you know Los Angeles, we got some Compton people here, so this your fellow brethren right here, okay, enjoying the Kimmie's Kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna tell you today that we're gonna make shortcakes.
Yum.
Yeah, so we're gonna start with this kind of just the typical standard variety shortcake because you know shortcakes always have some yummy stuff going on with it.
So this is like shortcakes for dummies.
Yeah,
this is right up my alley right here.
The ease of shortcakes. Yes. Okay. So first I'm going to tell you what goes in the shortcakes. Okay. So first we're going to start with our flour, and then these are all the different array of fruits, of course, that you can use with shortcakes because you know shortcakes aren't just for strawberries anymore.
So you can use any variety or combination.
We got raspberries, we got blackberries, we got peaches. Hey now, blueberries. So all of these fruits are a wonderful accoutrement, you know, accompaniment to the shortcake.
All right, that's French word meaning ingredients.
Yeah, and then also too, we're gonna add some butter, and we've got it kind of chopped up in small pieces, and I'm gonna tell you why that's so important in a minute.
Okay.
And we've got our sugar. That's a 1/3 cup of sugar right there. This is our tablespoon of baking powder. We're gonna use baking powder for this recipe, and a little salt. And this is heavy cream.
The good heavy
that
stuff.
Good heavy stuff.
Stick with you
now,
for a while.
you know, you can, if you want to lighten it up, you can use a little whole milk, you know, or a little 2% milk, a little non-fat milk.
But it's dessert.
But say it again.
It's dessert.
It's dessert. So why not go for the heaviness of the cream? Now we got 1/3 cup of cream in there, but I also added a little 1/3 cup of water, right? Just to kind of stretch it out. I mean, it's dessert, but we do want to keep our little, figures.
Okay.
Trying to keep it like that.
Trying to keep it like that.
I've
been doing it a long time. This figure is intact.
Yeah, trying to keep it together. And then we got 1 egg. And then this recipe right here will make 6 nice size shortcakes.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're gonna do a drop version of shortcakes. So we're gonna start off by putting our 2 cups of flour in our bowl, okay? And then we're gonna put in pretty much all of our dry ingredients.
Okay.
Is what we're shooting for. So you wanna grab those 2, throw those in there.
Bam.
And what we're gonna do is we're gonna start this whole draw. Now the beauty thing about this here shortcake recipe is that all you really need is a nice bowl, right? And we have this. This is called a pastry blender.
It looks like some kind of a karate weapon.
It does, right? But basically, and it is sharp. This is like a way, what they say, cut. You're cutting the fat, which in our case is the butter, and we're gonna cut it and blend it into the flour.
Okay.
Now, if you don't have a pastry blender at home, it's okay. You can use a couple of forks. Okay, because that'll help to cut the butter or the shortening or margarine or whatever that you're using.
So what does that accomplish?
The cutting thing is gonna make sure that our fat becomes like, we want it to be kind of like a pea size. And also too, we're gonna have our little whisk, and I like to have, you know, a degree of spatulas, you know, because you never know if you need the bowl kind or just the little straight edge kind. So I have the variety. Now, this right here is our pan. This is our baking pan. It's a sheet pan is what it's called. This right here is a wonderful invention. I love this. It's called a Silipat. And it's, you know, fancy for like when you don't want your things to stick to the pan without using a lot of oils and stuff. Because like I said, we're trying to keep our girlish figure, you know. So this keeps us from having to spray the pan. Now, if you don't have a Silapan, well, you can just use parchment paper, or you can just do the old-fashioned kind of way, spray it, or put some butter right on it, whatever you want to do. But just make sure that it has something on the pan because you don't want it to stick to the pan.
Fellas, don't be putting no WD-40 on there.
No, this is gonna make your shortcakes
taste
you
a dude don't mean you gotta get ignorant in the kitchen. That's all I'm saying.
Speak on that, brother. Speak on that. So now that we've got our wonderful dry ingredients in our bowl, what we're gonna do is we're just gonna kind of like take our whisk and we're gonna blend it, you know, just to make sure that baking powder and the salt that we put in there and that sugar all gets put in there really, really good.
So it's all incorporated together.
Hey, the man's using incorporated. Talking about he don't bake. Talking about
but you know, baking and cooking. I mean, this is similar to making like drop dumplings. See, I can do that.
See, so you make chicken and dumplings?
I make a little chicken and dumplings.
Oh, I love chicken and dumplings. That's like one of my favorite meals. Speaking of drop, we're gonna drop the butter. Now, I'm gonna give you the honor, sir.
Oh.
So what you're gonna do? Now, you want me to show you first?
How you're gonna? Okay.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our pastry blender, and we're just gonna make sure that we're incorporating the butter with the flour. And all you're gonna do is basically just, hey, look at that.
So you're literally cutting it.
You're just cutting it. Try that.
All right. This is nice. This is nice right here.
Ain't that cool?
You kind of give it a little roll that help it.
And then what we do is we take our spatula.
Look, if you don't have one of these, you should get one anyway, because this is
it's therapeutic. Isn't it therapeutic? Okay, so take a break, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna take it, and we got to make sure that butter that's trying to act like it is ignorant and don't want to like incorporate into the flour, we're gonna make sure that it incorporates. Okay, that's looking good there, Mark.
The sides down. Is that what
Let me help you out. Yeah, you're looking good. All right.
See, I know a little something.
He knows a little something.
You don't keep this kind of girth not knowing a little something.
He can work it out. So then, so let's just put this over on the side for you. We need that butter. See, that butter's trying to hide. It's trying to act like you don't want to play with the other flour and stuff, but we want to keep it. So now what we're going to do, so what I always like to do when I'm incorporating my liquids with my dry goods, I like to make a little hole, like a little well.
The well method.
And so now what we're going to do is we're going to add, you want to crack that egg right up in there, brother?
I'm not a fancy egg cracker.
That's okay.
I'm not one of those guys that do the whole one hand thing.
That's perfect.
I do the one hand thing. You eating shells.
That's perfect. Yeah. And we're gonna add our cream, and that's our cream and our water. 1/3 cup of water, 1/3 cup of cream. You did say, Mark, something about drop biscuits.
Dumplings.
Drop dumplings, right? And that's the consistency that we're looking for. So we want to make sure. Let's get that egg in there, and I'm just trying to make sure that it's being blended in there. Look at that. And that wonderful spatula helps us to kind of keep the wetness of the goodness of this wonderful shortcake. And see how it's just turning into a wonderful dough right before our eyes. See, that's good. And that's pretty much what we're looking for right there.
Yeah, that's nice.
Isn't that good? See? Now, if you grab our Silapat pan there, this is like decoration. We don't need it. Now, the reason why I have this out is to show you that sometimes shortcakes can be rolled out. Our recipe, not so much, but we're going to have some 6 degrees of shortcakes.
Okay.
That some of them do require to be rolled out, almost like a biscuit.
I thought you had that out for like guest control.
Yeah, that too. Make sure you stay in line.
Get out of control.
Trying to keep him in line. That's right. But that's just the reason why we have that out there. So now, what we're going to do is just kind of take it. And this is also therapy. We talked about therapy. You know what? You just grab a hand. Just grab it. Right?
No.
My hands is clean. Your hands is clean?
My hands ain't clean.
Oh, well, I better draw. Now, let me pick them up then. Okay? And then you just form them together. You just want to form them together because they just need to be. And this recipe should make about rustic. 6. It's very rustic. It's a very rustic small cake. Short cake. Hence, short cake, a shortcut to a cake. Hey now. And it became, it's a really great, like warm weather kind of dessert.
Yeah.
See, look at that. So we're going to get all of that out of the bowl there. That looks good. One of them kind of like a little midget though. He a little bit.
That's it might be somebody that's watching that girlish figure.
Yeah, right?
They could take a small one.
Right.
Me, I'll be stacking 2 or 3 of them together.
Will you be doing that?
Because I can smell
I'm
the
gonna put that one
ingredients,
on
and
there.
it smells
Doesn't it
delicious
smell good?
already.
That butter. It's that straight up butter.
Something
So now
about
what we're gonna do is I'm gonna wash my hands and then we're gonna put this in the oven. And it's gonna bake at 375 degrees for 15 minutes is what we're gonna do it at. So right before we put it in the oven, Mark and I washed it a little bit, which is what this beautiful thing is. This is like a pastry brush. It just washes in a dishwasher and it's really great. So we just kind of washed it a little bit. We took a little bit of cream and brushed it and put a little sugar on top. And you mentioned during the break another way that you can kind of like wash your particular, shortcakes or whatever. And you said what?
Little egg wash.
See, the man talking like he don't do desserts. Egg wash, that's right. Where you take an egg and some water and you also can wash the particular thing. And what that does, it gives it a nice gloss, nice shine. And sometimes you can take a full egg or egg whites, just a little water, and it'll give just pie crust, our shortcakes, just anything that needs a little bit of extra glistening. So brush with that wonderful cream, in our case with cream, but then also too, egg wash. Look at him trying to act like he don't know nothing about no desserts.
Listen.
What? So I know we talked about at the beginning of the show that you are from Compton. Mm-hmm. You're a wonderful actor. Wonderful Chuck. Come on. How many years on Chuck?
5.
5 seasons of Chuck. And then, of course, one of my favorite films, you probably don't even know this, I Love You and Some Fear of the Black Hat.
I think I get recognized more from that than anything in my career. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. It's
Very
just
irreverent. Do not watch it with the kids.
Yeah, don't know. That's not a family kid type of movie, but it's funny.
It's funny.
So how did you get involved? How did you get started in acting?
I had an English teacher in high school that got me involved in acting. She put me in my first play, which was Bus Stop. I played the professor. And she got me involved in speech and forensics in high school, which led to a scholarship to USC.
Forensics?
Yeah, like speech and debate. Yeah.
Oh, okay, all right.
It was it got me a full ride to SC, and that's where my acting really started. Okay. Because I took a voice class just for speaking and centering, and the professor says, well, you can't pass the class unless you do 2 songs and 2 monologues. And after I did the 2 songs and 2 monologues, he talked me into auditioning for the acting program at SC, the BFA acting program.
Wow.
And I got in. So me and Tommy Ford and this young girl, Sabina Weber, all got into these 3 spots that were left for that class and started working professionally the same year.
Oh, wow.
This business is a lot about connections and opportunity and a lot of luck and prayer and all that kind of stuff. True. And all those things just sort of lined up for me. And one of my debate coaches had a friend who was an agent who came to see me in a play at USC and sent me out for an audition for Hill Street Blues, my first job.
Wow. There's a brother's a comedian, funny man, does also stand-up comedy, yes?
Yeah.
How did that come about?
Your mother got my comedy career off the ground. I started doing comedy in high school. The first time I was on stage, I was in the 11th grade. And went to college and sort of put it on a back burner. And then your mother had a show, Dare You to Laugh.
Dare You to Laugh. Yep.
And so I was doing these little 5-minute sets. And then one day she says, we're going to do a show in Tacoma. I'm going to take you to Tacoma. We're going to do this great show. And so on the way, she goes, oh, Speedy couldn't make it, so I'm going to need you to do more time. And so I started on the back of a business card. I just wrote all my little 5-minute sets down. And next thing you know, I had a 37-minute act.
Wow. So what are the things that you're working on now?
Right now, I just did a Glee, so I'm possibly recurring on Glee. And then Lab Rats for Disney. I'm producing a film called The Chronicles of Rick Roll.
Wow.
And it's the idea, the writer was brilliant. He had the idea to put all these internet stars that have gone viral in these little small parts throughout the movie. So the combined number of hits are 20 billion.
Oh, wow.
So I was like, well, if you get 1% of their following to come to the movie,
right,
you've got a success.
And then now you see a bunch of filmmakers now, like all right now, getting on their computers trying to say, okay, let me get this person, let me get that person. Yeah,
it's a brilliant idea. It's a drama fantasy kind of thing, and so I'm producing it, and I'll be probably the 3rd banana in the script.
Oh, cool. Cool. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna check on our shortcakes.
Shortcakes together.
See what's happening with our shortcakes. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That looks like pure perfection to me.
Mm-hmm.
Watch out. Ooh, yeah.
See that?
Yeah, watch out there.
Too bad it's not smell-o-vision. See, y'all can get a look at it.
That's right. Well, this is our 6-degree table.
This is quite a spread.
You like this? Yeah. So I'm just gonna let the audience know what all we have here. So this was our recipe that we started off with today. That's our wonderful strawberry shortcake. You know, we just kind of, you know, put a little whipped cream with that. But any of these are great with any ice cream as well. So this right here is the lemon thyme. It's also got fresh blueberries. This right here, what I have in front of me, which cardamom with a little the blackberry, the peaches, and this right here is a blackberry whipped cream. And so what we did was we just took the blackberries, we pureed them in a food processor, kept the seeds on top because we put it through a fine seed, and then we just folded that into our regular whipped cream.
Well, it gives you that beautiful color,
That's what I'm talking about. This right here, that's the chocolate shortcake. And then instead of just having like the standard whipping cream, what we did was we made a wonderful white chocolate cream sauce. So you got chocolate on top of chocolate.
That's trouble in a cup right there.
With some raspberries, okay? And this right here, that's a pumpkin scone. And that's made with an apple compote that I made. And then down below, we've got gingerbread scones, and we're serving those with poached pears. So this is our 6 degrees. Well, dig in. And while we're talking, you know, I always feel like conversation and food go hand in hand. Don't you think so?
I think so.
So, you know, the audience needs to know about, we talked about the fact that you are a comedian. Yes. So, I don't know, little birdie told me that you're kind of doing a monthly comedy show?
Yeah, you know, I've been working with the House of Blues in San Diego, and we've been doing a monthly show where I produce the show and host the show, and I bring in my favorite comedians. It's been a fun little ride over there. We've been doing it for a year now. And,
cool.
And it's been fun.
I'm going to have to get down there to San Diego and check you out on stage live and in living color. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, you know,
I got to do that.
And we're doing some interesting venues too. I mean, we're even doing shows at P2K shooting range.
A shooting range?
We clear off the 100-yard rifle range and build
dangerous.
a stage.
I'm sorry,
nobody's
that
sitting there with a gun.
Oh, okay, because you said shooting range. I'm like, that sounds dangerous.
Otherwise, a comedy would be a little tense.
Yeah, it'd be like, it'd be ducking book, and you know, I was on my way to the store and you know. All right, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's a situation where, you know, this particular shooting range has been around since 1923. And because I'm a member there, it's like, you know, I shoot competitively.
See, that's another thing we didn't know about.
You know, shotguns and pistols. Because I'm there so much, you know, I decided, well, look, why don't I help out with this? Because it's a nonprofit, help out to do some benefits and bring some comedy in, and every dime from those shows go right back into the building.
Now let's get back to this competitive shooting.
Wait, let me just say.
Okay, I gotta put my spoon
This is pretty
down on
awesome.
this one. Okay.
This is awesome.
Competitive shooting.
Yeah.
This is awesome. Oh, he talking about my food.
I'm talking.
Segway. I'm talking about my shortcake. Segway. Back
talking
to
about this shortcake.
The shortcake.
I'm trying to figure out how could I sneak some of these shortcakes into my backpack for my trip home.
You don't have to sneak. So now the charity that you were talking about, that was the whole. So is there a charitable thing that you're involved in as well?
Yeah, I'm involved with Act Today, which is Autism Care and Treatment Today. My nephew has 3 children. He has 2 children, one with the wife that he has now, one from a previous relationship that have both been diagnosed with autism. And then his wife that he has now also has a child that's diagnosed. So between the 2 of them, they have 3 kids with autism. They say it takes about $3 million to raise a child from childhood through their lives.
Wow. So with your family member, you're talking about that's $9 million.
That's $9 million. Where is my nephew going to get that kind of money? And so Act Today sort of bridges that gap to some of these things to help. They have lots of grant programs, and because of my nephew's family, it was an easy fit for me to donate my time.
Yeah.
They say 1 out of 88 kids in America are diagnosed. Back in the 70s, it wasn't that prevalent. I mean, it was like 1 in 30,000 or something crazy like that.
So tell the viewers again the charity.
Act Today, ACT Today, Autism Care and Treatment Today.